Is it clear? Is it clear, Chaitanya?
Yeah, now it is clear.
Hello.
Thank you. Yeah, it is clear.
All right. So, yeah, yeah. So we'll discuss about the techniques we will use it in ethical hacking, as well as the methodology which we will follow to attack a machine, and the topics which we are going to cover. So these are the things which we are going to discuss in today's demo class. So first of all, ethical hacking. So what do you mean by ethical hacking actually? So as we are saying like ethical hacking, there may be an unethical hacking also. So like that, we have different types of hackers who will do hacking. So usually people think like who will hack a system or who will steal the credentials of a system or stealing of credit cards information, whatnot. All kind of this criminal activities are done by hackers. But actually hackers are the good guys, but we have other type of guys who will do all these kind of things. So they are called as crackers. So we have two definitions for hackers, like hacker and cracker. So hacker is a hero who is having all knowledge about computers, hardware, software, and whatnot, everything. And coming to cracker, he is also the same guy like hacker. He is having all the knowledge about computers, softwares, and he will use his knowledge for criminal activities. So here the knowledge is same for both of the guys, but the attitudes are different. So that is the only difference between these hackers. So as that is the definition before the cyber law. So 10, 15 years back where we don't have a cyber law and not technology not much well developed. So on the time they have defined the hackers. So we have a cyber law. So according to the cyber law, information security experts, they have defined some guys. So the first guy is a black hat guy. So the black hat guy is a criminal guy where he can do all the criminal activities. A definition of a cracker saying here with the black hat. And coming to white hat guys are professional guys. So these guys works as a security analyst and application security experts and penetration testers. So where you can see in the companies, as we are working in a company, they will follow the compliance rules and they will follow all the rules and regulations of a company. And if you want to test a particular network, they will be having a compliances. So they will follow that compliance and they will implement the attack. And according to the penetration testing, we have some rule sets and everything to follow. So they will follow these rule sets and everything and they will implement the attacks. So usually they won't attack the system, but they will try to test the system on these guys. And we have other type of guys, combination of black hat and white hat attitudes. They are called as gray hat hackers. So this combination of black and white gives you a gray hat. So these guys, what they will do is they will work for companies. They will work for standards and everything. But if they want to do any black hat kind of activities, they will try to implement it. So they will act as a white hat, but usually they will try to behave like a black hat in some do some black hat activities in some situations. So usually we'll see the investors. So they will try to do these kind of activities. So they will comes under gray hat hackers. Why? Because if they want to clear the case or something like that, so they will try to implement some black hat techniques to get the information. So they will comes under gray hat hackers. called as hazards. So these hazards are script kiddies. So these script kiddies will try to implement the attack by watching a video or any document. So they will find one video or a document of procedure to attack a system and they will try to implement it. If they succeed, that's fine. Everything is fine. If they are not able to succeed, they will go with another video. So they won't think, they don't have any knowledge about computers. They don't have any knowledge about softwares or something like that. So simple hackers. So those are called script kiddies or hazards. So these are the four types of hackers we have seen, but we have so many types of hackers like suicide hackers, terrorist hackers. So like this, we have a different definitions, but these four are very important. And and every hacker, he may be a black hat, white hat, or a gray hat. I'm not talking about hazards, but I'm talking about a black hat or gray hat. So these three types of guys, they will be called as a hacker, but they will follow a methodology to implement the attack. He may be anyone, but he will follow a methodology. See, if you want to execute a plan, if you want to design a security, we need a life cycle for that. Why? Because if you don't know the start point, we can't end up with the final start point. So the start point and end point, the process between the start point and end point, that will be called as a life cycle for hacking. So for this also we have a life cycle for hacking. If you don't follow this methodology, what will happen? We will see it in the coming module. So the first step of hacking is information gathering. So we have to gather information as
Hi, Dinesh. It's totally fading out your voice. I cannot even hear any single word. Can you hear me?
hello.
Hi. It was fading out. Actually, I didn't hear anything from what you said in the last 3 minutes.
Can you hear me now?
Now it is clear.
All right.
I think it must be internet.
Yes, yes, yes. My internet problem. All right. So, we'll start with the methodology. So we have a methodology for hacking. So for every, just give me a second. Give me a second. All right. Yeah. So for every methodology, we'll follow some steps to achieve a particular uh, thing. Like in hacking, we have a methodology. So the first step is information gathering. So we'll compare the situation with a thief. So what thief exactly they will do? So what they will do is if they want to rob a house, so what they will do is they will try to collect information about that house for 2 or 3 days. So they will observe the house, they will gather information like the address of the house and the street, how many people are living in that street, and how many people are there in that house. So whatnot, every kind of information they will try to gather. The same thing with the systems also. So while you're trying to attack a system, you will try to gather information about the target, like the IP address, operating system of the that system, DNS records, and whatnot, all kind of information about the target. It may be a system, it may be a network, it may be a website. We will try to gather information about the target. Suppose say like if it is a website, we'll try to gather information by using DNS records. So we'll try to get information by tracing out the DNS records of a website, and we'll try to gather information about operating system and all these kind of things. And we'll plan the attack. So like that, will information is very, very important. So we know that information is wealth. So if you try to gather information, we can finish our work up to 70% in hacking. So information gathering is very, very important for us. And the next step is scanning. So scanning is a kind of activity. We'll try to scan a particular target and we'll try to get information about the ports and services it is offering. Suppose say like if I am doing a web service in my system, if I'm offering a web service in my system, so usually we'll find out that for port number 80 or 443 will be open. So if you scan my system, if you can find out like port 80 and 443 is open, that means I'm running a web server. So you'll try to gather information like this. What are the entry points? Why I'm saying this port as an entry points is, suppose say like if you want to enter into my system physically. So what you need is you need a USB drive. So you'll be having a pen drive. So we'll keep the pen drive in my system and we'll try to enter into my system. So that is physically. So logically, we have some ports, and according to the service, they have some port numbers like HTTP port number 80, SMTP mail service for 25. So like that, we have some different ports for different services. So we'll try to gather that kind of information. So the entry points of a system. So like that, we'll try to gather the entry and exit points of the system by doing a scanning on the target. So like that, the same thing with the thieves. What they will do is once they gather information, they will try to find out the entry points of that house. So how to enter into that house and how to come back to the come back from that house after robbing everything. So these kind of things they will do in the scanning technique. So I'm comparing these two situations so that you'll get an idea. So after finding out the entry points and all, so we'll try to gather the weak points of the target. So we have got information about the target, IP address and operating system and all other information. And we have found out the entry points. And now we'll try to find out the weak points of the target. So the weak points will be like if the system is running any outdated software. if the system opened any unused services. So if the system is vulnerable to Windows updates or Linux updates, so if the system is not yet updated, so these kind of weak points will try to assign, will try to trace it in vulnerability assessment phase. So that is a weak points analysis. So the same situation with the thieves, what they will do is they will try to identify the weak points of that house. So the weak points are like, suppose like they are going for the holiday like 8 days or 10 days they are going for a vacation. So nobody will be available at that home. So it is a weak point of the target. So we can attack in that particular scenario, in that phase, in that time period. So that is vulnerability assessment. So once you have information, and if you have information like entry and exit point, and you know the weak points of the target, so now we are ready to plan and attack. So we will plan and attack in penetration testing phase. So that is called penetration testing. So in this phase, we will plan according to the information and the entry points and the weak points we got, and will attack that particular target. So that phase is called penetration testing. And next we have a maintaining access phase. So once you attack the system, we will try to maintain access on the system for some time. Suppose thieves have taken access of that house, they have entered into that house, and they have planned an attack. So once they enter into the house, immediately they won't come back. They will stay for some time to gather all the uh, uh, whatever you have of money and gold, everything. They will try to collect all these things and they will come back. So they will maintain access for some time in that house. The same thing with the system attack. Once you hack a system, we will maintain access for some time. And after that, when you're coming out of that system, so you have done your job, you attacked that house and you gathered some data, and you are coming out. So you are leaving that particular system. So when you are leaving that system, you need to clear your tracks. That means evidences. So once the thief rob everything in that house, and when they are coming out, they will clear all the evidences in that house. So the same thing we have to do it in the system. We have to clear all the evidences in that system when you are coming out of that system. So these are the 6 steps we have to follow while you're attacking a system or a website or a network. So that is hacking lifecycle. So we'll see the topics that we'll cover with this methodology, like information gathering. So the first module, but before that, before going to the information gathering module, we have a networking basics concept and IP address spoofing, MAC spoofing, what is IP address, and all these kind of things. We will see in the first starting of our class, and then we will go with the actual modules like information gathering, scanning. So I told you we'll try to find out the open ports and services in this phase, and we have a sniffing topic. So we will cover the network topics first, and then we'll cover the web application topics second. So the first topics are like network topics. So in that, sniffing is one kind of network attack. So we'll try to monitor the network traffic in this, and we will try to implement the man in the middle attack in sniffing topic. So we have a DOS and DDoS also. We will continue with the DOS and DDoS attacks, and we have a web attacks like a directory listing, Google hacking, SQL injection, and the all basic web attacks we are going to cover in web application attacks. So we have some other network attacks that we will be added while you are going with the course. So that will comes under network attacks itself. So we'll see how to attack a network and how to gather information about the network, and to identify the vulnerabilities. We'll use the different tools in there. So once we're done with the networking concepts and web attacks, we'll go with vulnerability testing. So we'll see the vulnerability testing in web application as well as a network based. So how to identify the vulnerabilities, and we will cover some free tools like Nikto and Burp Suite. And I'll show you one uh, commercial tool which is called IBM AppScan. So it's a world version, but we'll try to see how the automation tools work in vulnerability testing. And once we're done with all the tools and everything in the vulnerability testing, we'll go with the penetration testing. So in penetration testing, we'll attack the system. So as we will see some vulnerabilities in the vulnerability testing, so we'll take that information and we'll attack in this penetration testing phase. So we'll use a Metasploit framework to attack the system, and in this phase we'll use MSF. So we'll cover that tool, which is a very important tool. So we'll cover the most of the attacks in penetration testing. It's a very important phase. And the last topic, when we go with when we are going to conclude the course, we'll go with the software cracking. So how to crack a software serial key using disassemblers like a Ollie debugger and everything. So we'll see software cracking also. So how the malwares will be analyzed and all those things will comes under this software cracking. And we have other modules like we'll cover in our course like a cryptography, and we'll see the discussions about a firewall ideas, honeypots. So we'll cover these things, how the firewalls ideas, honeypots will work, and the cryptography techniques, what we will do while you're sending your data, and how it will be encrypted, and all these kind of things in cryptography. So like this, we have a different uh, topics to cover, and we have so many subtopics in each and every topic. I have given you just a brief introduction of our topics, but we have a huge list of topics in ethical hacking. So we'll cover all those things, and we'll use a lab setup of virtual machines. We have a virtual machines like a Windows XP, and we'll use a Kali Linux also, and Windows 2000 server, which is a vulnerable targets. These two are vulnerable targets, as we can see so many weak points in this. So we have a Windows 10 also. We'll work on Windows 10 also, but mostly we will see in Windows XP and Windows 10, Windows 2000. Why? Because these two are the lightweight operating systems that you can operate on your system, and we have a huge list of vulnerabilities in this. So if you want to practice anything about ethical hacking, we need to practice on weak machines, vulnerable machines. So that is why I'm showing you in this. And also we'll cover Windows 10. We have a Windows 10 also. So we'll cover how to attack the Windows 10 operating system also. So we'll cover the latest attacks, as well as we will see the hackers operating system, which is Linux, Kali Linux. So we'll cover some modules using Kali Linux also. We'll see most of the tools, techniques, and everything about Kali Linux. So this is all about ethical hacking and countermeasures. So we'll cover the countermeasures also at the end. So this is all about uh, ethical hacking course structure. So is there any doubt in this, Chaitanya? Are there any queries for you?
All I would like to know is it a daily class, and also how many classes it would take to cover all these topics? What's the approach? And of course, I would like to know if there is any other person, or is it just me one-on-one, so that it would help
That
me to prep also.
Yeah, those details will be given by Srinivas for you to you.
Okay.
So I'm not sure about how many guys are joining, or you are the you're the only person you're going to join. I don't know exactly, but you can take the details from Srinivas, and it will take a 4 weeks of time. I mean, Monday to Friday, like 4 weeks. So we'll cover all the topics in this 4 days. Sorry, 4 weeks, Monday to Friday. So daily 1 hour. If you want any extra class or anything like that, we can see at the end, and we'll cover all these things. So it depends on the time, how many days we'll cover and everything. So that's in your hands. If you are practicing well and if you're going to complete in on time, so we can wind up the classes in 4 weeks, or else it will take another week. That's it.
Okay, so as part of the course, it would also include like the PHP you mentioned. Is it something I need to do offline about PHP or Python? Um,
No need, no need. For ethical hacking, it's a basic course. We don't need
okay,
to go with the Python or PHP. If you are taking web application security testing also parallelly with the ethical hacking, we will cover some PHP programming kind of techniques, but no need to worry about taking the classes of PHP. I'll tell you how to use PHP and how to learn PHP easily. So you don't need to worry about PHP. We will use Python when we go, if you are perfect in ethical hacking and web application security. So if you want to write any proof of concepts or something like that, we need Python. But we don't go that much deep. When you get experience, so you'll understand how to use a Python and everything. So no need to
okay.
worry about the Python and PHP. If you take web application security also, there we will see the PHP programming. So that's up to you. And that is other 1 month course. So 2 months totally if you take as a package. So ethical hacking plus web application security. Usually if you go with the market, they will look out for web application security testing. Why? Because as web application security expert will have both the knowledge like network attacks as well as web attacks. So usually they will prefer web application security experts for a job. So yeah,
So
that's all.
when we, yeah, I've been into the testing world from past 13 years. Of course,
Okay.
it's more of functional based testing. It's not focused on one particular application. I have touched many apps and different tools, etc. But I did some testing around web scan, and also it was like a tool where you just scan the
Mm.
whatever website it was, uh, and also some login credentials, which was really yeah, weird. I couldn't follow because those were more of security testing scenarios. So I just followed the steps, but it was really not clear. So I did some things, but not up to what I should be. But
Mm.
based on my experience on the testing in the testing world, so the approach, what approach do you suggest? Whether should I start with the web app security testing, or should I start with the penetration testing?
Um, we have two types of penetration testing. See, if you have a network, if you are working on a network, we'll call it as
Mm-hmm.
network penetration testing. If you're
Okay.
working on web applications and Android applications, we'll call it as a web application penetration tester or Android application penetration tester. So it
Okay.
depends on the module you have selected. So I suggest you to go with web applications comparing with network. Why? Because network will be taken care by your firewalls and your network administrators itself. You no need
Mm-hmm.
to implement the attacks or you no need to protect separately. If you configure a powerful firewall or any ideas or something, that's enough. You no need to work anything. But coming to web application security, you have a huge space to work on that. So you have to go with web application security testing. So when you go with web application security testing, obviously we'll go with Android also. Android application security testing and iOS application security testing. So like that, we have a step by step. So first you have to start with ethical hacking. So you'll be having knowledge about network as well as some basic concepts about web application. And if you go with the web application, you will be perfect with web application hacking and everything. And then if you are interested, really interested, if you want to go further, you can go with the mobile application security testing, like Android platform or iOS platform. And
Yeah.
after that, we have IoT, embedded security. So you have a huge list of topics for security testing. So So I'll suggest you go with ethical hacking first, as it is your first class of hacking. So start with ethical hacking as it is a basic course, and then go with web application security testing. So that is what I'll suggest you.
Okay. So I know security testing also has some certification. So
Yes.
the training what we will undergo with the next 1 month on the ethical hacking, would that help with the CEH?
Of course, of course. We'll cover only CEH modules. We don't cover any other things. We are covering only CEH modules, which are very, very important. I didn't listed out all the topics in the PowerPoint, but I will go with so many topics which are listed out in a CEH course module. So we'll cover only those things.
So probably since you are into this world, security world, uh,
Mhm.
how long did it take for you to get, I mean, to prep for the training, I mean, the certification, and then, uh, I mean, I think I
Yeah,
might have seen.
yeah, I got your point. Actually, once you're done with the course and web application security testing, so take for 2 weeks of time after completion of courses, and I'll give you some dumps and everything for the exam. You can work on that. Usually, what ethical EC council people are doing is, so what we are covering in the course, they are asking only 60% of questions from that, and remaining
Okay.
40% questions are coming from uh, other security concepts and everything. So for
Mhm.
that, if you want to clear that, we need some terms. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about the exams. I have written almost all 60 plus exams of EC Council. So you no need to worry. I'll get you prepared for exam. I'll give you some terms and how to prepare and everything. I'll give you the structure for exam. So just if you want, if you want to get into the job, first you need to go with the topics. So exam is easy, you can clear it, but if you're perfect with the course, that will help you a lot. That is what I can tell.
Okay. How is
Yeah.
the market? Of course, you're in Cognizant though, but um, how is the market in US for? Is there a good demand for security testers? Any idea
Yes,
how it is?
uh, in Verizon we have a huge openings. In Verizon we don't have any security testers. We are the
Oh.
team working there, right?
Mhm.
Verizon.
Mhm.
So Verizon is no, nobody is there for doing security testing or something. We have 6 openings in Verizon for
Mhm.
from. I mean, we have to go there actually. Even I have to go to Verizon US location, but
Mhm.
we don't have H1s and all these concepts, so that is why we are not going there. But you have a huge openings in Verizon, CTS, and we have seen other company. I forgot that company name. So Caterpillar company is there. So many companies are there. They are just looking out for security testers. There is a huge market in US. I can say that. Why? Because I have trained almost 25 plus students only from US itself. So
Okay.
they are taking course and they are going to join. I have students in Illinois and Texas and some from Florida, and we have some students from these locations, and they are working as the security testers in some companies.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you have a huge market in US.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you can do one thing. Just keep a fake profile in the internet and try to see how many people are calling you on security testing. Just make it real so you can understand how market it is. You will get a huge,
Yeah, that's
you'll get so
not a
many
big.
calls for security testing. So that
Yeah.
is what I can. Even India also, I have updated my profile 1.5 year back in Naukri, but still I'm getting the calls about security testing. So
Okay.
that is the thing. So,
Yeah, as I said, I have almost like 13 years of in a Q. I'm working as a QA lead. Um,
oh, yeah.
so I've been in IT world from past 13 years. So um,
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be like yeah, I have in my own company, I have the security team, so probably it would not be a big deal. The only thing is getting certified because as part of the requirement, they always mention that it's kind of a prerequisite
Mm.
to be
Yep.
part of the security team. So I think, yeah, probably if I have that certification, it would help me to move from my current team to the security team. That would be an easy move than again starting from scratch to go to interview and then get hired.
Yep. Yep. Sure. Sure. I'll help you on certification. That's not an issue. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay, that's all I have today.
Yeah. Yeah. Srinivas, are you there? So you'll get all the information about the class timings and the
Yeah,
people
Dinesh.
who are attending the class. So everything is from Srinivas. Srinivas, could you please provide the details to Chaitanya about the classes and